Welcome back to another good week. You're listening to the Dev Talks podcast with your host Travian. We talk about everything engineering and technology here. So let's dive into what this week is going to be about. Now, even though it might be a good week, it's not a good week for everybody. Actually, it's not even been like a good year for real. Especially if you're looking at tech businesses all across the world, businesses in general. There have been a ton of people getting fired and laid off, and it's almost crazy. And today, unfortunately, there's more news about more people losing jobs, especially engineers. So if you want to know what places are letting go and why, tune into the rest of this episode and we're going to dive right into it, okay? Okay, so if you don't know, in the beginning of the year, going on to from January to March, most likely tons and tons of layoffs happen. I've seen it at so many companies. There's numerous companies everywhere, Microsoft, everywhere you can think of. People were getting laid off or fired. And what happened? The market changed, a lot of technology changed, a lot of stuff came out, a lot of business needs happened, a lot of companies were sold, bought out, companies are failing, companies need more money. And one of the things that I stick to is I feel like a lot of companies overhired personally. And we have a lot of information about this. Two particular companies that this may have been the case for. And as I said, if you dived into this episode, you came to the right place to learn about what's really happening and going on and what can be scary and potentially happen. But one thing I can confidently say is even if you're an engineer and you're getting laid off, you have a skill set for yourself. You're going to be able to find a job somewhere else eventually. I know competition's tough and hard, but a little motivation to you, you will be able to find that place. I took me time. I found a place currently. I wasn't laid off or anything, but I found a place for me. You're gonna find a spot for you that you want to be at. You're gonna figure everything out. And if you're one of these people, like, just keep your head up. Yeah, you have the skill set. You know what you're doing. Just figure out what you got to do and get back in there. You're gonna find a place. There's tons of companies besides the main companies that you hear about on the day-to-day basis. There's tons of places you can go, tons of opportunities. Just gotta look for them and find the right fit for you. But now let's dive into the news. So, LinkedIn laid off 700 employees. And if you don't know, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft is just such a big company. They own so much. But and that's an extra 700 from the 10,000 they let go early this January and so on. So, they've already let go of 10,000 people. Like, why would you need to let go of 700 more? And apparently, due to for the betterment of the future business and things like that, they had to let go more people. And one of a company's biggest expense are their employees. You have to pay their salaries, especially if you look at these engineers. Engineers have such big salaries nowadays, and a lot of other people, like those people in those core groups, they get a good amount of salary. And you can look at what are they doing? Do you need this team or not? And these people are just gonna lay off the employees, have them go about their day, see, hope they find somewhere else to go because cutting off 700 people. Do you know how much money that is? Just for an instance, if you take a whole engineering department, say they all make six figures just for the jokes and giggles of it, and now you multiply that by 700. How much money is that you're saving? Like, really think about it. You're saving so much. It's not even funny. Just off of that. And mind you, they let go of 10,000 earlier this year. 10,000 people that worked there. So, I don't know what's going on, but my hypothesis, well, for all of this is these companies during COVID overhired. They thought they were going to be a certain type of busy and they weren't. And they probably found out or catching people aren't as busy as they may look. And now people are getting laid off. So, look, so they reduced 563 roles, 563 of them out of the 700 employees. They're a part of 563. There were 137 engineering managers. There were about 38 product roles that got reduced down. And then there was across engineering teams in general, 388. 388 roles across different engineering teams. That seems like a lot. I don't even personally know 388 engineers. And this is how much they're letting go from LinkedIn? And a little inside context. Working in a company, I see many different teams and things like that. I don't know of an exact department that has how many, like, you have to realize how many departments, like if you look in your own businesses and where you work, how many engineers are realistically on your team? Now, how many departments would that actually mean? How many different teams to reach 388? Mind you, Microsoft and LinkedIn are huge companies. They probably have a ton of workers working for them, but it just seems almost unimaginable, like, to get rid of this many people. It almost seems almost unrealistic, but I mean, this is the life that people are living in now, and what we're gonna have to go through. And let's not even get started on the next company we're about to talk about. It's almost tragic about what happened with them, because it's wild. It's wild. So next, besides Microsoft, I'm sure Microsoft will be okay. I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll figure everything out eventually. I'm sure all those people are getting nice packages and things like that coming from Microsoft and LinkedIn. So I'm sure they'll all be good, but it's just crazy to think about that. It never makes an engineer feel secure about their job. And what I'm about to tell you about this next news, it really won't make you feel secure after, really. But as I said, there's going to be a place somewhere for you. If you have the right skill set, the tools, you're right minded, you know how to do certain stuff, you will be able to figure it out. And I honestly do believe that. So, ChatGPT, our favorite tool. It's such a great tool, wonderful tool, all of that. But it's caused a little bit of havoc for Stack Overflow. So, Stack Overflow laid off 28% of their staff. And this is all because ChatGPT is there. If for you that don't know what Stack Overflow is, a lot of engineers look to Stack Overflow to try to figure out and solve certain issues and problems and stuff of that accord. But sometimes it has the answers, sometimes it doesn't. It's like a form thing. People can give their answers about how to solve certain issues, give you a rough idea on how to solve it. A lot of engineers use it for these exact um, reasons and stuff. And there's also a bunch of other websites that engineers do use to try to figure out certain problems, work throughs, and things like that. But like it, they let go 28% of their staff, and I believe I read something that said like it was over 500 staff that they had, or they either doubled their staff. They made a comment about in 2022, the end of 2022, they doubled their staff. So they either it was hard to understand the language of what the report was saying, if they either had around 500 something plus employees and they doubled the staff up from that and got rid of the 28% of that new 1,000 plus employees they have, or they had like 250 and they doubled that amount and now they have over 500 employees and staff. And they were getting ready to do a whole bunch of work with, and they got rid of 28% of that. Regardless, 28% of 500 or 1,000 is a lot of people and to cut off. And ChatGPT came out, they doubled their staff at the end of the year, and then ChatGPT came out the next year, and now 6 to 8 months later, they're firing 28% of them. And who's to say the more that GPT grows, how many more they will have to let go and stuff? Because if people can just, instead of going to Stack Overflow, these engineers can, now ChatGPT is available for companies. They're getting the patents ready, the legal stuff ready, security stuff ready, so that engineers can use this as their source of truth and information instead of Stack Overflow, you're losing a lot of people coming to your website. So they just recently doubled all these people to help manage all these requests to their website, and ChatGPT is taking all this away. And it's hard to really think of. It really sucks. It's unfortunate. And if you're one of these people that got laid off, I feel sorry for you and things. If you know nobody who's laid off, try to help them as best as you can, help them find something and whatnot if they're looking for anything. And I mean, if you're hiring, if your company's hiring and you know that and they're looking for engineers, drop it in the comments probably. See stuff that's going on, try to help each other, try to have a good community here and everything like that because that is very unfortunate. It sucks. And but what can you do? Well, these companies are trying to survive at the end of the day and they just can't do it without many people that they're letting go. Like as I said, they obviously overhired. Like yeah, Stack Overflow couldn't have predicted that ChatGPT would have released in the new year. Maybe they had some inside knowing, maybe they didn't know, maybe they didn't. Who knows? Because Microsoft is invested in this in ChatGPT. So they know certain stuff to an extent. But Stack Overflow, how could they? They're a smaller company. They overhired, obviously, thinking that they were gonna pick up on demand and whatnot, and it's not something that happens. So I mean, that's it for this episode. I hope everything's going well with you guys. Hope you guys are all good, secure, and all of that. I just want to add a little light motivation to all of this because it is a downer. But hope everything goes well for y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tune in every week. Every Thursday, we're dropping episodes 11 a.m. Eastern. They will be dropped out and come in about 3 days a week. We're trying to get reels out to point back to certain older episodes and go from there. So just tune in, stick with me. Everything's gonna be good. And if you want your news weekly or how if you want your news more often, let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out. See you next week.